Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. We are now in the last week of March, and we are still in the thick of what is known as March Madness. That is the NCAA college basketball tournament. And so I thought this would be a good time for a sports related post. When we watch the games, or any games, or sports contest, typically our eyes are on the players on the field, the contestants, right? Those are the ones that we're paying attention to. The ones who are doing the scoring, playing defense, who are uh, somehow engaged in what's happening on the field or on the court. But there's a group of people who typically are also on the field of play that we don't pay so much attention to. In fact, much of the time we ignore until they're needed, and that is the officials or the referees, or in the case of baseball, the umpires. Now, there's no question but that these people are important to the game, so don't get me wrong on that. They're the ones who call the plays, they enforce the rules, they keep the game or the contest from descending into utter chaos much of the time. So I'm I'm clear in that they are important to the game, but we don't really pay much attention to them. We don't know their names and follow their stories the way we do the players. Um, the fact is, the officials, the referees, are kind of meant to be anonymous. They're meant to not stand out. Even their uniforms that they wear are some combination of white and gray and black, and they kind of blend in. And that's actually by design so that they don't get in the way and distract our eyes from what's happening between the contestants on the field. So it's actually part of the plan, part of the game, but the fact is they are still invisible to us most of the time. That got me to thinking that there's a comparison, you might say, to real life with what happens to a lot of men, women too, I suppose, but I'm speaking mostly to men, in midlife when we're in the, say, 40 something to 60 age range. For many men, it can start to feel like you're disappearing from view, that you're becoming invisible, that you're becoming irrelevant. In this season of life, you may start to feel like you've peaked in your career, that you've put on a bit of weight, that you're getting gray, balding in some places, and what's left is gray. And you start getting comments from people like, um, "Well, you look good for your age," or you're getting offered senior discounts when you didn't ask for them, or maybe you don't even qualify for them. And it can be kind of a rude awakening when people hit those birthdays, especially the ones that end in a 0, 40, 50, 60, and all the ones in between, and feel like you've lived more than half of your life and wondering where this is going to go. So, my message to men who are in that season, who are experiencing some of that, is to take some steps to create visibility. It doesn't have to be this anonymous, invisible, um, irrelevant feeling in midlife. These years can be some of the best you've ever had. And all it takes is a bit of intentionality, some decisions and commitments that you make during that season. In my own case, when I was in my early 50s, it really kind of hit me. Um, Prior to that, I suppose I'm a late bloomer, and I started to um, have that feeling like I was becoming invisible. My hair was gray, and put on a bit of weight, and I felt like I was due for a makeover. So that's what I set about doing, and I started studying some style things and embracing uh, ownership of how I look and how I present myself. It made a huge difference. I have a blog post on this topic with more detail that you'll want to visit on cliffordberger.com. It's one of my recent blog posts rather than one of my old ones, and some tips and more perspectives. But the kind of makeover upgrade that I had created for myself within the past 10 years really has been a profound experience for me, and it's a journey that I'd like to share and encourage with other men. So, um, those are some of the things that I would like to encourage you to take ownership of your style, of your physical condition, of your inner life, and position yourself for the best possible success in this season of life rather than just becoming anonymous and disappearing from view. My encouragement to anyone listening to this would be to commit to being a player on the field and not one of the referees. All right? So, with that, I'll leave you and see you in the next one.